Hello, welcome to our podcast, episode 111 on Rooster Teeth's Red versus Blue. So, yeah, um, gonna talk more about Red versus Blue in depth, more than, what little I did talk about when I was, talking about, Rooster Teeth, rise and fall all the way back when I did that. So actually talk about, all the seasons from season, 1 to 17. Also, um, uh, Red versus Blue Zero. Um, I guess Family has. I haven't really watched too much of that one. Yeah, but yeah, time to talk about Red versus Blue, and yeah, and also don't know exactly when the final season will be coming out, but I guess I'll have to talk about that in a different hour podcast because it didn't hasn't come out, at least at time of recording. Maybe it's gonna come out in, you know, March, April, May, because I, you know, did a thing where, I checked the trailer again and it definitely said this fall, which would imply, by them being in America, that would have been, September, October, and November, but that's obviously past, so the only other reasonable logic would be Southern Hemisphere seasons for some reason, which, would be March, April, May, but I honestly doubt that. Maybe it'll never happen. Maybe the final season is a lie and it's just us trying to cope with, you know, how bad RvB has gone. But shall I talk about the good before the bad? Let's just get the bad out of the way. Shadows, I don't really care. Zero, um, don't really care too much. It's mediocre, I suppose. It's not bad, like some of the stuff in, you know, the Shizno paradox and whatever, season 16 and, 17, you know, 15, you know, gets a bad rep because, it's leads to those two things, but, on its own, 15 is just alright. It's mediocre, like nothing exceptional. Honestly, the last good season of Red versus Blue was 14 because at least it was something experimental and interesting, like, you know, doing, like a Tales of, RvB, from, the different people that were, involved in, making, RvB. So it it was interesting, to see some of those stories. So 14 is, one of the last actually good seasons. And honestly, 13 was, the canonical ending. But with, the final season coming out, if that does come out, that may change. So, yeah. But yeah, season 13 and its ending is definitely the canonical ending. Like, you know, for a lot of fans, So yeah, you know, Miles did a good job at continuing like Bernie's work. Like only like a few, like a small percentage would be, um, Bernie purists, and Bernie continuing on from season 13, if it is all true, um, you know, seems like he approves of season 13, so, those purists can't really be, I guess, mad anymore, because they probably do exist, because they'll always be purist of something, like, but this isn't like how it was before. It's no longer created by the same person, so it's no longer the pure thing. Which, I can kind of get, but also don't get. Like, they have some points, but also, like, you're sticking to, the past maybe a bit too much. Like, I can understand where you may come from, but if the new thing is equally as good as the old thing, I think it, deserves a chance, And I think, Miles, complete that task, you know, you know, like if they get the job done, they get the job done. I'm just saying, but yeah. But yeah, so yeah, so yeah. Season 13 definitely canonical ending. But yeah, let's but now let's just talk about season 1 to 13, the actual good ones. So there's a lot of good moments, obviously, too many that state, but a lot of good moments, a lot of running gags, you know, which I kind of do the same thing in my own series. But yeah, you know, I I grew up on RvB, and you know, you know, it was a part of my childhood. A bit late into my childhood, but still part of my childhood, because I don't know how many times I've told this story, but I might as well tell it just in case I haven't before, because I can't remember if I have or have not. Maybe? Probably at some point, just I've probably forgot, but here's how, I discovered RvB. So, like, I forget what was going on, but, like, um, like, it was just a day, I think, after school, maybe, I honestly don't remember, but, something was going on. All I remember is that there was some events, and, had to, go to it for whatever reason, but, after the event was done, we noticed like a sign, that was like for a garage sale, and so we decided to check it out, the garage sale, since it was on the way, and I noticed certain recognizable armor. I recognized the Mark 5 armor of the Master Chief, and I was like, oh, Halo thing. So I grab a, a disc, container, whatever you call it, the disc case, you know, disc case. So, and printed on it said red versus blue, showing, someone in red armor, and someone in blue armor. I was like, oh, what's this? And, reading the back, it's like a comedy thing, and I'm like, ooh, you know, go to, my parents, since they obviously took me to the garage sale, like if, we could buy it, and, I convinced them to, buy it for me. So, then I would watch Red versus Blue season 1, and that's how it began. My love of Red versus Blue, like, my first time, watching, it's like, it was very funny, despite, all the swears and stuff, which, yeah, again, I'm one who doesn't really swear, so, yeah, like, very ironic, but then again, I was like in grade 6 at the time, I think, so, not really gonna be swearing at like 12 years old. I think I was 12, right? Yeah, I think I was 12 years old. So, yeah, but still, like, compared to, my personality, it was like a direct opposite, but still, when I watched it, you know, you know, all the like funny moments, made me laugh a lot. And I absolutely loved it. And, eventually would, get into the rest of the series once I realized it was on YouTube, because I didn't even realize, it was like a YouTube series thing for quite some time. So, you know, eventually, I would, you know, forget about it for a little while, because, yeah, again, the stuff I was watching on YouTube at the time was like Minecraft stuff. Like, I remember in grade 7, distinctly remember like watching Dan TDM at the time. So, you know, I hadn't really gone to certain YouTubers yet that I would get to. Like, I was starting to, like, you know, head into like the more mature, quote unquote mature, you know, channels like Markiplier, but can you really call Markiplier mature? I mean, the main difference is, you know, he swears, Dan TDM didn't, So, mature is, yeah, again, that's probably why there's, different labels of maturity. Like, there's, G for general, PG for, parental guidance, then there's M for just regular mature content, then there's, M15 for 15 years and older, and then there's R for obviously, 18 or older. You know, those are the Australian standards of, you um, you know, rating programs. Obviously, it varies from, country to country, but yeah. Either way, eventually I would stumble across it again, probably also in 2015, because, yeah, again, 2015 would be like my shift from, you know, Minecraft stuff to actually other channels, especially since, in October of 2015 would be when I created my Steam account. So, yeah, like 2015 was the beginning of, the shift. So it was probably, 2015 or 2016 that, I rediscovered it, like, oh, yeah, RvB. Forgot about this. Forgot about this thing that I like. But I actually get into it, again, and I did. And Yeah. So eventually, I would be, looking forward to, season 14 and, you know, not to realize at the time, season 14, would be a little bit different. And yeah. When did season 14 come out anyway? Of Red versus Blue. So 2016? Yeah, April 2016, I think. Um, yeah, I'm just trying to check. Come on. Okay, so May actually. But yeah, so yeah, it was probably 2015, land to 2015 when I actually rediscovered and watched it all. And yeah, 2016 would be, the first actual season I would actually, see episode by episode. So yeah, so yeah, so yeah, the timeline would go, 2014, I was, you know, in grade six, which is when I, got the disc, forgot about it for like a year's time, discovered it was a YouTube thing, would watch it all, and at some point in 2015, yeah, again, I can't be exactly certain when, and then, 2016 would, be me watching what I would not realize at the time the last probably good season of RvB. That's sad, honestly. I discovered it late, but it felt longer, You know, perspective of me back then, like it felt a lot longer, but now that time has flown by, it's kind of crazy. But yeah, Red vs. Blue, a series I'll, forever love. Just, it's annoying that it's no longer really on YouTube, except for only the entirety of season one, which, it's full circle, ironically, because I have the full season one on a DVD that, I can choose to play if I want to. Not that there's many ways I can play it, but I can play on the Xbox, funny enough, I guess as, God intended. RvB, made on Halo, an Xbox game that I would, use the Xbox, you know, Series X or, the Xbox One or the Xbox 360 or even the classic original Xbox as a glorified DVD player. Um, yeah, you know, use any of the countless amount of Xboxes I, around the house. You know, it's just funny, but yeah, it's full circle in the worst way possible. Like, only started with, the knowledge of, watching, only being able to watch one season. And now it's kind of the same way. Technically, I could go to Rooster Teeth and, rewatch them. But, I'm not really going to go out of my way when there's so many goddamn ads on the website. And so many websites are now like, you can't use your ad blocker anymore. Like, screw your ad blocker, YouTube began the trend, and now it's like a few other sites are starting to pick up on it. And, I think, yeah, Rooster Teeth also picked up on it because I I had to record stuff for my Ruby AMV um, video, and I had to open up, you know, Rooster Teeth's website for that. I distinctly remembering seeing the same ad again and again and again, just so I could record a few clips, like a minute worth of clips, like. So I don't remember how many videos I had to click through specifically, but it was definitely enough that by the end of it I was like, God damn it, I do not want to see these same three ads over and over again, because it was like the same three ads over and over again. And it just drives you insane. So yeah, I'm definitely not going to be rewatching Red vs. Blue anytime soon. And if I was to, it would probably only be season one. And I've already rewatched that one countless times, both, on YouTube and off YouTube. I do not need to watch season one again. Like, I've seen it enough times in my life, that I probably could memorize it. It has been a few years, so I've probably forgotten some things, but as soon as I watch it again, it'd probably be like instant, you know, rememorization. Like, oh yeah, I remember these jokes now. As soon as I watch it, it'll immediately like enter my brain. But while I don't rewatch it, it'll be in a state of limbo. Like, I would remember it if I tried hard enough, but, trying to remember it perfectly just offhand would be a little bit hard. But anyway, RvB is good. I really hope the final season is good. Only time will tell, and yeah. Anyway, thank you all for watching this. Otherwise, I'm gonna babble on forever about how annoying, it is, that, things deteriorate, but, enjoy the, good parts of RvB, because that's what really matters, is the good memories, not all the other stuff, me remembering, how I got from, a garage sale, and, you know, that's what matters, the memories. But yeah, thank you all for watching this our podcast, and peace until next time.